One thing I wanted to show you guys was here is Bitcoin on the monthly, and this is just a bit of a fractal TA movement that I love to pick up since Bitcoin started, and it's got to do with moving averages over time and bull and bear markets. Now, conversely, looking down here, you can see the RSI. Every time the RSI has peaked here, at around about that 90 mark, anything above 90 has proven that it's been the top of the bull market. So bull market top, so here in 2013, continued through to a double top in 2013, and massive spikes, kind of like we've seen here without the RSI though. Now, bear market, we crossed the moving average here all the way down. Bear market, bear market, bear market. We've crossed the 10, the 21, and the 50. We've used the 50 as support, and then from there, we've crossed the moving average. Look at the stock RSI. It's remained flat the entire time. The MACD went into a sell pattern. The histogram started to bend pre-bull market, right? As it's come through, the stock RSI picked up, the MACD got closer to that zero or equilibrium line, as we like to call it, and then the moving average crossed right before the MACD triggered sort of a buy, and we got above the 10 EMA. Now, look at this price action. Push up, stocks ranged at the highs, RSI's climbed up, hit the 90s. Again, we peaked out here at 94, top of the bull market. There it is there, just across one, there it is there. The stock RSI proved that as soon as the fast and slow line crossed, that was it, risk off, bear market, let's sell off. MACD did the same thing at the top. You can see here the histogram started to bend off that big green candle, even though the moving averages didn't cross yet. The histogram started to bend, and that was the signal it was the top of the bull market. Now, we sold right off through the 10, the 21, and the 50, used it as support. Again, the stock RSI is flat, MACD sell pattern the whole time. As we started to bend out, before we got above the 10 EMA, you can see the cross here of the moving average. We've crossed that. The candle pushed up the next month across the 10 EMA. The stock RSI started to come up, and the MACD started to bend 1-2 candles over the month before we got that flash of green, which was continuation of now a bull market. Now, the only thing to exclude in here is the black swan, which was March 2020. But you can see we've used the 10 to 21 as support the whole time. Flash crash, quick down, got bought back up above the 10 EMA over a month. It was just a month movement. And you can see here there's just a hiccup in the MACD without it being perfectly rhythmic like the previous years. But the stock RSI pushing on the way up would have continued into something like this, in my opinion. As you can see, up the top, nice and flat. Without the March 2020 black swan, you would have seen this nice and flat like that. Continuation fractal of this stock RSI, and the RSI here would have continued to push up rather than that little crash here. But you can see what's happened. Bought up, hit 69K here. Regardless of volume, the RSI hit 90, that was the top of the bull market. Stock RSI nice and flat. Again, this would have been flat the whole time without COVID, in my opinion. And you can see the MACD pump nice and high. And before we got that big sell, which is the China Elon Musk FUD, which is that candle killing there over the month, so that candle selling over the month, the MACD started to bend on that big one, and we got that sell off. Stock RSI dropped down, across the moving average. As soon as we got below it, that's it. We've been in a bear market ever since. You know, regardless of the 70K double top, you know, there was indications here of divergences the whole time with those tops. That was a clear exit signal from a technical perspective. Who cares about fractals and institutions, and we're going to $1 million? It was the sell signal from a technical standpoint, and you know, right there where it bounced off that moving average, the stock was down, the MACD was down. That it was just screaming sell. And I wish I had this knowledge when I did it, because I would have shorted the market from there and left it open for a year and would have made $1 trillion. So something that we all need to be aware of, because we're coming into that same cycle again. But when you look at this fractal, what do you see here? It's the same as the other two previous cycles. We've crossed the 10, the 21, the 50. We've used the 100 as support here. You know, unlike the others, we've had a little bit of a heavier selling pressure because of the macro economic foundations that we're in. Volume has picked up through the selling. We're below the moving average, crossed down, and we've actually crossed it just here as we've made our way back up. Stock RSI is picking up. What's happening here on the MACD? MACD is bending. We haven't had a flash of green yet, but this month we are back above the 10 EMA. As long as this month, in my opinion, 23 days to go, we can hold above the 10 EMA like this candle, or even if we see something like this, I don't mind if we get an explosive move to 32, 35, and then sell all the way back down. As long as the moving average, as long as the price action holds above the moving average, then I would see the continuation like this into the next bull run throughout the year. Even if it's a little bit steadier like this one, you know, it doesn't have to go straight up, but given the flight to safety trade, Bitcoin's resilience, everything that's happening, we need to fight regulation, we need to fight politicians. There's all this, you know, this war at the moment. something needs to give positively, in my opinion, for Bitcoin and, you know, what we know for its technology to do and solve. So monthly is really, really big one for me on the April close. I want to see it hold this 10 EMA. I don't want to see it fall below. If we do, I'd like to see it touch the 20 on the 50 and then bounce out of that the month after. Again, Bitcoin might range whilst, you know, might go to 32 and range as ETH and alts take over for the month. You know, that could be a good sign as well. But again, just looking at fractals, we're about to get a flash of green the next 2 months, which is a buy signal on the monthly. Stock RSI is picking up. There's a divergence here in momentum. And the RSI has crossed that moving average with the previous cycles. You can see down here, you know, every time we've got below 40 or on 40, we've bounced back up, pushed through, bull market, push through, bull market, push through, bull market. So here we are, we've pushed through. You know, it's going to take a few months to decide where we're going to go, but in my opinion, with the fractal playing out in the monthly, you know, this thing's screaming bull market.